Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I've kept my background from yesterday's conversation, part one of League of Opportunities, when we had mostly Asia represented as speakers. And today, part two of League of Opportunities is mainly US, Americas, Africa, and Europe. So thank you for joining today. We've got some great speakers and we have superstars like Mike Patterson, who's not driving, but he is sitting on the side of the road as a good Arizonan would do, or a Californian as well. So thank you very much, Mike, for all that you do. We have a variety of really great speakers, but I would like to kick off with my hometown buddy, Jeff Smith first. And Jeff, Factum Global has got the a very important business sentiment survey that we're supporting. Could you let us know a little bit more about that and how we can take it?
I certainly can. And Doug, the pollen is alive and well in Mount Kisco, New York. So I will tell you that it's off to a rough start.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for giving me the floor for just a couple seconds. Factum Global conducts a biannual business sentiment survey where we measure business sentiments around the world. We are looking for executives such as yourselves to take this survey. It's completely anonymous. You don't even have to give your email address if you don't want to. We ask for it so that we can send you this really nice report that we put together to share with you the results. But it's a very quick survey. It takes between 2 and 3 minutes. And Global Chamber is one of our collaborators, as well as 2 other organizations, ASIS International, which is a nonprofit association in the United States that's focused on technology and cybersecurity in particular, and a company based in Dallas, Texas called TechFides. They're an IT consulting firm. The reason for these collaborators is because the focus of this quarter's survey is technology. So if you've taken it before, you'll notice some similar questions because we like to measure quarter over or 2 quarters over 2 quarters. And there's one or 2 questions there on technology. So what I'll do, Doug, if it's all right with you, I'll drop the survey link in the chat. Encourage everyone to take it after this wonderful call. We don't want you to miss this. Also, if for some reason you lose it or you don't copy it after the call, it's right on our homepage, factumglobal.com, FACTUM global.com, and there's the survey. Oh, I guess am I not allowed to share, Doug, with everyone here?
Should be able to. Are you just putting it in the chat area?
Here we go. There we go. And thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I'll drop my email address in there as well. Feel free to email me. That's all I have, Doug. Thank you.
Fantastic. League of Opportunities is a program that spun out of League of Extraordinaries. League of Extraordinaries is members only and sharing kind of a accelerated speed dating for members only. This has non-members in the audience, but only members are speaking. And typically we ask them to provide information about what's new, what's going on, and what are some opportunities for both members and non-members to participate. So definitely take the survey, and I think it's coming out in April, right? Is the results? Yeah. So take the survey now, and then watch in a couple of weeks.
You can take it until April 3rd. April 3rd, the survey is open, and then a couple of weeks later, the results will come out.
Okay, cool. Very good. Let's now go, because as I think many of you are aware, the world's internet, particularly around Africa, is problematic. And I know, Zazi, you have had some challenges with internet. You're calling in from Estonia, and you're going to be talking about One ZCM. It's a shoppable video commerce and also a video-based business solution for small and medium-sized enterprises. Could you share, hopefully, fingers crossed, the internet hangs in there. Could you share a little bit more? And please go ahead.
So, I think for starters, what we're hoping to achieve is really to create dynamic and inclusive digital ecosystem so that SMMEs have equal access to cutting edge technologies that don't currently exist, especially in Africa. Coming from South Africa, I think I've mentioned to you, I'm very passionate about entrepreneurial endeavors and how we can support small business owners. And one of the biggest challenges we all know is access to market. And now with the African Free Trade Union in the pipeline, we potentially would like to get in there while all the logistical things are happening, all the new networks are being built, so that we could theoretically in the future be the platform for the African Free Trade Union, obviously connecting small businesses to their counterparts in Estonia, Baltics, and Greater Europe. I think we're going to kick off in Botswana, Ghana, and Estonia, mostly because we've had the most phenomenal response from those three countries. Although in the long run, obviously, our country list is far greater. So even though we're still sort of early stages and just getting ready to start registering businesses, our website and portfolio of registered participants will be up hopefully by the end of April, where you'll be able to see videos of the participants in different countries. We're also going to be connecting with different universities. In fact, Ashesi University, for example, in Ghana, through Global Chamber Contact Ruby, are going to be collaborating with us, actually integrating the project into their semester for business students. And through those sorts of collaborations and sharing or connecting those institutions with institutions in the other participating countries, we'll be able to truly measure the impact of using videology as a solution, improving on networks for logistics and really trying to simplify that process. Obviously, Africa as well is really diverse. So we have instant payment services are an issue. We're looking at solutions for that. And most importantly, I think just really trying to, there's not officially a roadmap for what we're doing. So it's very exciting for me, but quite challenging as well, because there's no guide on how specifically we move forward. We're learning as we go, and so many people have been so phenomenal in terms of sharing their resources and their skills and insight. And it's also particularly interesting working with people from different countries. With Fort Hare University in your home country. Yeah, I agree. Building bridges is so important, and I think the value of what we can get or bring to the table, connecting with that sort of intellectual capacity, capital, and kind of brainstorming, and really looking at student exchange programs as well in terms of facilitating the project. I think that could be great. Sorry, I'm reading as I go. Network Symposium, several startups focused on payments. Thank you. I know at the moment what we're having to do with regard to payments is we've identified three sort of main areas. So it's ostensibly we'll have the head office in Estonia, and then we will have a West African office, South African, and East African. So we're going to have a let's say a subsidiary in Ghana, in Botswana, and in Kenya. Those are the three most realistic, likely places, and they cover the bulk of the countries. But that also facilitates sort of cross-border payments in Africa, and then we can feed everything to the head office. One of the ladies we're dealing with is a specialist in terms of financial services and that sort of thing, and she's helping us sort of develop a framework, because I gather these startups focused on payments are still sort of struggling with the different currencies and how best to proceed. So in the interim, we have to be creative about how we move forward. And obviously the biggest challenge, I think overall, is to ensure free participation for the businesses so that we can ultimately empower them and always difficult when you're looking at building a platform, because obviously we need to show viability from a business perspective on our end. But we also need to make sure people can participate for free. I see, Jacob, you're asking in DC. Do you mean I wasn't quite sure about that question.
Oh yeah, no, I apologize. I was just asking Chris
Oh,
in the
sorry.
chat.
Sorry. Well,
Oh.
nice to meet you all anyway.
What does, I think we have time for maybe one question. Anybody have a
Yes.
question for Ozzy? Just unmute yourself. I don't think I saw any hands raised. Any questions? Are you looking to get funding, or are you able to get the project up off the ground and moving forward? What is it that you need in the next phase?
The next couple of days, let me get, I actually made some notes here. Obviously, we're currently exploring funding options. There are quite a few opportunities in terms of governmental institutions as well as private firms, but we're still in the process of registering as legal entities. As I say, we've been trying to determine the best way to run it so that it doesn't get confusing down the line, especially because it will be cross-border payments, etc. So we have a meeting next week to finalize that. In terms of what we need, particularly supportive partners, we're obviously, as I said, still early stages, but really building networks, connecting with logistics networks so that we can really facilitate that side of things. Anyone who could advise us on how best to connect buyers and to the people that are going to be importing. As I said, no roadmap for this. I'm learning as I go, and aside from our positive and quite overwhelmingly supportive response, there's still many dots to connect. So any and all advice and suggestions much appreciated.
Okay. One final question. How have you found Estonia to be as a work location?
Very interesting, very different from South Africa, although I've lived in numerous different European countries. But it's good. I think one of the things that I've noticed is most significant in terms of impacting on business, and it's something we're hoping to use as part of one of the topics for research, is really the difference in business culture and etiquette, and how different countries and cultures like to do business, and how unintentionally you might offend people because we don't all do business in the same fashion. And over here, it's particularly important, and people get offended quite easily. So whereas, South Africa, we obviously have our own business culture, but it's much more free and open, and we think nothing of meeting with dignitaries and ambassadors and politicians. We're all kind of on the same level, whereas here there's sort of layers that you have to work through and introductions you have to go through. And so other than that, fantastic place, really interesting, but also only just starting to connect with Africa as well. So I think we have a great opportunity. I see Estonia has just connected actively in Botswana, and suddenly everything seems to be poised to kind of help us move in the right direction.
Great. Thank you for sharing. If you have questions or follow up with Zazie, please connect with her. And I think in LinkedIn, I'm not sure it says Zazie, but her name is in the link. You might want to put maybe your LinkedIn profile, as a link.
I will, my lovely outdated one, which you reminded me I needed to fix, and I still haven't. But certainly, I hope I gave you a little bit of insight into what we're doing. And yeah, any feedback would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much.
let's keep moving around the room. And I did see a message from Febronia, who was our next speaker, actually, that she had to step away because of an emergency. So, so we'll move and keep moving. And also, if she comes back, we'll hopefully include her. I also understand that Dorniki Agbo of Casa de Lengua has an internet problem, and so she may not be here today as well. So we've got a few things going on in the world and a few things in this meeting. Let's go to Jung Lim of Cultural Vistas. Jung, you have a cohort of interns that are available by Cultural Vistas. Korea West program is something the Global Chamber has been tapped into for well over 5 years. We've probably had at least maybe as many as 10 interns over the years, all very capable young people, many of them graduates of college, including our current intern, Jiyoung Kim. Jung, what's going on with the Korea West program? I understand there's a variety of students available.
Hello, everyone. It's great to join this group. As Doug mentioned, we've been running Korea West program for the past 15 years at Cultural Vistas, and it's a strategic partnership between the State Department in the US on the US side and Ministry of Education on the Korea side. And we have talented students from Korea in various majors. This term overlaps with the previous cohort, so it's been quite challenging for us to find placements, because otherwise, it would not be a problem. And also, we have very unique majors as well, and we have some common majors still left also. So just depending on your field, these interns are already sponsored by the Korean government, so you don't have to worry about paying them. If you are able to pay, we do encourage to provide a little stipend for their transportation, or anything that you can provide, I think will be deeply appreciated by the participant. But because it's a short-term period, 3 to 4 months internship, 12 weeks, minimum to 12 weeks to 16 weeks internship, they need to start their internship as soon as they can. They just completed their language program for the past 2 months. They are already in the US, so they can interview right away, and they can start as soon as we onboard your company if you never hosted Korea West intern. Again, all the visa, all the care is taken care of by Cultural Vistas. You just need to provide a meaningful internship to them based on their academic major fields. So in terms of the majors, I shared this folder with Cesar. So I think Cesar has been also connecting with some of the contacts, which has been appreciated. But if you have any interest, please feel free to reach out to him. We have a student in landscape architecture, French and European studies, double majoring in international economics and law, Spanish and Latin language and literature, and double majoring with English language and literature, business administration, material science and engineering, urban sociology, double majoring in also urban cultural content studies, which is video and media, public administration, also double majoring in business administration, environmental biochemistry, also double majoring in pharmaceutical biology, urban planning and engineering, double majoring also in industrial data engineering. We also have a philosophy major, double majoring in French language and literature, fiber material engineering, architectural engineering, applied statistics along with economics, Chinese language and literature along with public enterprise management, genetic biotechnology, history major along with social welfare, and Korean history along with business administration. So typically we don't have issues with business administration, but again, we have a cohort of 22 long-term interns right now. So they are taking those placements that Korean government kind of wants us to place one intern at the same location, not more than one. However, we asked them whether they could make a exception as long as they work on different projects and under different supervisors this time. So we will let Cesar know if that's the case. But as of now, we are trying to place them at different locations beyond those 22 companies that are occupied. And some of the challenges that we had has been a lot of these engineering majors went to universities, and some of the universities really want to be off during summer, and their timeline is between April into June or July. So that does get into the summer vacation period. They do need to be in person in the office for more than 60% of their time. So 40% can be remote, but 60% need to be in time with supervision. And their work needs to be meaningful work related to their academic studies. And as long as it's related to academic studies, it's acceptable. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, they finished their language program here, and they were rigorously vetted by the Korean government and by us before they came to the US. And they've been in the US for the past 2+ months. And right now we are trying to finalize. They all have been sent to organizations, but any one of you globally minded entrepreneurs in the US, they can be anywhere in the US. We do prefer locations where there are some public transportation so that they can at least get around. So universities have been good locations where there are shuttle buses or some support the university can provide. Housing will be coordinated by the student, but usually they know what to do because we prep them for that. And again, schools have been also good for that some schools would have dormitory space, or at least for summer vacation, they can move into the dormitory when other students are out of dormitory, where students can stay housing nearby or guest housing on campus as well. So again, you don't have to provide housing, but I just wanted to say students coordinate their own housing, but any support is needed. Support is appreciated, but the bottom line here is a meaningful internship for them. They're all talented students. And this time, for the first time, we are really struggling to sort of securing some of these participants because of the overlapping and some of the majors being pretty unique that we really haven't had any architecture student. And we have sent the student to a lot of architecture companies, but it just has not been working out. So if you have like any ideas, or if you are able to accommodate and host this intern, please let us know. That would be really, really appreciated. Again, I share the folder with Cesar. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him, or you can reach out to me through Cesar, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Someone raised the hand? No?
Any questions for Jung?
Hey, this is Pankaj. Yes. I'm from India, but I'm a US citizen. I came from one of the top university. And so I want to connect with you regarding India. I have too many friends working in South Korea as well as US. So double major, India in US. We can help you, a lot of students, as well as my daughter is class 11. I want to send my daughter to South Korea. So she will be going to the college next year. So I'll send my daughter first, go to South Korea, then I will referral more. So please, Cesar, connect me with I will provide you a lot of details for too many students who can work with Korea as well as India as well as US. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Jung, for sharing. I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity for companies, and the students are fantastic. So I hope some of you can take advantage of it, or if you know companies who can, please connect them into the opportunity. Let's now go to Chris Bennett of Technology Innovation Law, TIL. Really unique intellectual property solution, and I love the way you tie in ESG and other current very important issues into the work that you're doing. Chris, thank you for taking the time today to share more about what's new with you. Please go ahead.
Doug, thank you for the opportunity and hello to everyone. I'm going to try to briefly in 90 seconds make sure I address the 5 core questions, then share with you a couple minutes on a video, and then time remaining field any questions or clarifications. TIL is both a social impact intellectual property law practice. So we've been working for 5 years. We have clients in Asia, Africa, and the United States. And we recently received funding to spin out of it the technology design that we had into a separate public benefit corporation that is now reached MVP phase. And we're hyper-focused on getting folks to test our software product. So that'll be something that I'm asking all of you, test or send someone to test. As far as who we want to connect with, what we do is available to everyone, but we invest our resources reaching out to the historically marginalized and underrepresented. That might be described as 95% people of color, 60% women, 50% small business and startups, 25% creatives, and 25% social impact. As far as our ideal prospect, it's going to be someone that's from that group. And our mission is to help them create their own value. And we'll explain with you a little bit about how we've done that and how we'll do that even more scalably with our software. As I mentioned, the solution we bring is we're scheduling people to be test users for our software, and in return, they'll get to use it for a year at no cost. We originally wanted to do 500, but our tech folks said, no, 100 is the max. So we'll be doing that, and we're reaching out to get that done this March. And I think the last 2 things on the Global Chamber side are do what you're doing now as far as community is concerned. And specific opportunity, as we mentioned, is being able to use the software. And it comes with some also intellectual property legal services as a complement. So with that said, I'm going to jump into a very brief share on some slides. And then with the time remaining, field any questions that folks may have.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Now, hopefully you have a visual. Obligatory disclaimer that this is prepared with the assistance of artificial intelligence because it's one of the 4 technology elements we have in our technology stack. If you receive this deck, it's only 6 slides. There's a video which basically walks you through what we do, why we do it to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, how it creates value for our stakeholders, and how it creates value for our funders. So we recently received funding from a public-private partnership, and we're a social enterprise. And that gets to the next slide. I mentioned on the left side, you see our new law firm website, Technology Innovation Law, Global Intellectual Property. On the right side, you see our software technology spinout, TIL Group. What we'll be doing is we'll be bringing our registered test users into the TIL Group site, and we'll be sharing with them something that focuses on copyrights. Well, this is the Global Chamber. It just so happens there's a convention called BERN, and 181 of the 195 countries in the world are signatories to BERN. In BERN, if you create a copyright in one country, that gives you advantages to being able to leverage it in others. So that's why we're hyper-focused on copyrights in this particular minimum viable product phase. Once someone goes to the group website, they're going to gateway into our demo area. I mentioned that we use 4 technologies in our stack. We call it the ABCs +1. A, artificial intelligence. It has an intelligent matching feature. B is blockchain. That's used to protect and help the client to monetize the innovation and to offer it in the marketplace. C is cloud computing. Because most things are cloud now. We use that because it gives us an additional security advantage. And last but not least is Web3, because we want to be able to take the client into the virtual reality space at the right time. And we have a patent pending on our Web3 invention. So in closing, we ask that you sign up to test. We're taking a queue right now. We're starting with our existing clients from the law side, but we also want to open it up to people who are not in our community because we want to make sure we build the solution and deploy it in a way that meets people where they are. So with that said, I'm going to stop. And I think in the time remaining, take any questions or comments that folks may have. And I get amped up, so sometimes I speak quickly. So you can ask me to slow down and enunciate a little bit.
Oh, it's very good. No, there's no problem at all. I'll open up the floor to questions. I'll do the first question, and that is, what help do you need? How can people get involved, and how would they be involved?
Yeah, and I think the direct answer, Doug, is we're looking for people to test. We genuinely feel that we have a great solution, and our audience, which knows what we've done on the law side, we're replicating it in software, plus enhancing that. But we want some unbiased folks who are willing to test it for a period of time, do some limited surveying, and as you said, they will get the use of that software at no cost for a year. And the complimentary service with it. So actively seeking testers, we'd like to have that 100 number by the end of this month, because we're scheduled to go to Philadelphia in April as a part of our funders portfolio. And we'd love to tell them how we're moving forward and making progress and making the world a better place with intellectual property rights.
So sounds good. What questions do people have? Either unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Yeah, Chris, just to sort of dig in deeper to Doug's question about some specifics, like, so would like some VC groups that focus on funders or founders from largely marginalized communities, is that the type of, like, would that be a good group to have a dialogue with and get into some different?
Jacob, thank you for the question. Short answer is yes. Like any bootstrap startup, at least on the software side, our current public-private partnership is that they do impact investing. As we mentioned, we support the SDGs for United Nations, 8, 9, 10, and 17, and I will not belabor explaining those to you, but suffice to say they deal with economic development, employment, and also deal with reducing inequalities and partnerships. And we actively partner. So we're also looking for partners because the way our software is structured, not only can our clients use it, and our team can use it to support those clients, but we can also refer our clients to partners who can then use that software to support them. So we're creating a platform as a service, and it has an ecosystem, which we believe fits very well with the Global Chamber of Commerce's mode of doing business.
I have a quick question. So I'm sorry, Chris, just to be clear, your customers would essentially be IT managers of law firms that deal with international business or international impact.
And may I address you as Zach, by the way?
Yep,
Zach,
that's what my mother called me.
thank you for that. The short answer is yes, plus. Essentially, because this is a platform, there are 4 classes of users who can access it. One would be law firms. And we have partnerships. If you go to our tech website, you'll see some of the organizations we consider to be allies. So attorneys or members of their intellectual property group would be able to access the platform and serve this audience. The second is the actual retail user themselves. So those kind of clients that I discussed. Third is internally, we would use it where it makes sense for the client. And last but not least are allies. And we say that because, for example, we have partners that work with emerging entrepreneurs in public housing in DC. Through that relationship, we know their needs, we offer the technology, and we can meet that audience where they are. So it really allows folks who don't know intellectual property, but they have relationships with populations that can benefit, to use the tech to help them support that population. So hopefully that addressed your question of yes, plus.
I have a follow-up question. Has anybody built a business plan for you on how you're going to access the people who can pay for this?
Well, the short answer is, again, it's kind of a yes, but we want to be better. We've been doing this. We've been doing this on the law side, and it's called IP Rights for All. We've been delivering the solution as a digital service to people in Asia, Africa, and the United States. What we've done is taken that learning. We took some research that was funded by the National Science Foundation, and we turned it into software. So we have a plan for both sides of the house, and we're trying to scale up the software side.
There's a saying, basically, if you can't figure out who's going to pay for it or how they're going to pay for it, It isn't a product. If you want to talk about this sometime in the future, you can find me through Cesar or Doug, but we might be able to help you just sort of clarify how people are. I've been listening. It sounds interesting. I'm not sure how people can pay for this, right? How exactly it will be paid for. And you might want to clarify that. So if you ever want to chat about that, feel free to reach out.
Let me do that briefly because our revenue model is subscriptions. We also have fees, success fees, and we have some other value-added components in that. So it's profitable on the law firm side, and we think that the profit can scale on the social enterprise side of the software. Appreciate the question. We're happy to reach out offline, and so you might be able to add some additional perspective.
Great.
Zach, I think you just got back, didn't you? Weren't you traveling somewhere here recently? Were you at a trade show?
Yeah, no place big, but I got stuck in Mexico due to a technical problem on a plane, but nothing major. I was in Zurich in Mexico last week, but now I'm back at my desk. So.
Okay, everybody should know Zach because he's got access to over 10,000 potential distributors for products around the world, and he's a sales expert and definitely someone you should have on your Rolodex for advice or thoughts or consulting. Thanks for all that you do, Zach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug.
I think are there any other questions for Chris before we move on? And Chris, thank you for sharing today. We have two of our speakers are not available, one because of the internet and one because of an emergency. So I think that's it. Oh, there's Fabronia calling back. So she did her email to Cesar and I, and she's apologizing, but she's been pulled away. So Cesar, I think that might be it. So I'd like to just open up the floor as long as we're here. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share? Any needs that you have? I'll just open it up for at least a couple minutes, and then we can leave early as well.
Hey, Cesar, can you connect me on the LIM? We wanted to talk to her regarding South Korea, wanted to help her. And another thing, I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. If anyone is looking for funding, we are helping many people around the world, but no startup funding, no early stage. Our investor is not investing startup and early stage. So my contact details is there, or reach out to Cesar. He will take care of everything. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. I think we have, and Jean, I don't know if you wanted to say anything, and I don't want to surprise you, but you're now with Listo Global, aren't you?
I am.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So, Jean Hogan, I am the Vice President of Growth at Listo Global. We are a full service global solutions organization. So we help companies find, hire, and pay their global workforce. So everything from recruiting to independent contractor payments globally, employer of record services to helping companies set up an entity, global payroll, global HR. So if anybody ever has any needs to hire outside of their country, we'd be happy to work with you. Or if you know of anyone, we do have a nice partner program that I'd be happy to set anybody up with.
The folks at Listo are amazing. They get folks ready to be international and facilitate what's now become a lot more common, and that is bringing on a global workforce. We can't always get the right people in our own country, and so why not leverage the ability to get them paid, get them found and paid, and part of the team. So thanks for being part of what is a tremendously very positive thing that's happening in the world right now. So thank you, Jean, for sharing. You're in Omaha, Nebraska, aren't you?
I am. Yep, I am hotbed of international activity, but we do have Warren Buffett.
Do you know what vehicle, what type of vehicle Omaha is number one in the world?
Would the red truck? Is that what you mean? Yeah, we sell the most, I think it's Ford F-150s in the country, and it primarily red.
And that's because of
The Nebraska Cornhuskers, it's red.
that's wild. Yeah, I didn't fully appreciate it until we were passing on I-80 one time, and the football game was getting out, and they were spilling out onto the freeway. Yep. There were so many red pickup trucks. I've never seen so many of them. So it's sort of like if you ever get picked up in Los Angeles by an Uber, and you'll typically get picked up by a white Toyota Camry or a white something. And literally, there are so many white cars in Los Angeles. Phoenix is the same way. It's somewhat debilitating, especially if you're looking for a white vehicle when you're getting picked up at the airport. Joanne, I see you're in the room. Is there anything new on your side that you would like to share?
Thank you. Apology for joining late. I was tied up with a client meeting. So my company builds brands and market brands for companies for international inbound or outbound, do market research and do their go-to-market analysis and strategies, and creating cornerstone content and amplify their brand messaging on websites, on social media, with content, original content, videos, and SEO. So recently we added something. Yes, I'm glad you asked. It's called AI experience design, which is to design the user experience, the customer journey for the convenience of customers, the end users, because too many of us are so frustrated being subjugated to the dictatorship, quote unquote, of AI and getting nowhere after so much time. And I bet I'm not the only one who end up shouting after 8 minutes of getting nowhere, okay? And of course, it's non-responsive. So this is actually not an AI coding issue. It's about designing the AI journey for the people. And I'm really passionate about it. And it's in every way related to how you get your message across. How do you protect your brand? How do you protect your brand reputation so customers don't leave because of their frustration? So that's what we do. And we do this for companies, post-merger rebranding, and for individuals on their LinkedIn, to make a LinkedIn brand, a personal brand, rather than just some AI generated boilerplate.
That's very cool. I did not know you had that. Jacob Dietz in the room here has been helping us put together a monthly conversation about AI, and I think there's one coming up, right? Maybe next week. And we just had another AI conversation yesterday on sales. And if you haven't seen that one, let us know, or you missed it. It was really outstanding. I wasn't able to see all of it, so I'm going to watch the recording. So let us know, and we'll get you the recording. What do you think of that, Jacob?
Oh, yes, I was there yesterday, and I can concur on that. It was fantastic. It was meaningful, and Connie, the environment she creates is very inclusive. And her and Colin together just are a dynamic duo. And yes, so we are delaying our AI and language. That's the topic this month until the final week. We pushed it back 1 week just for scheduling issues. And so I think it's maybe the 28th. I think the change has been sent. But yeah, hope to see everyone. And Joanne, yes, let's chat and get you on there 1 month.
Yeah. Who do I contact for getting that invitation on my calendar to be notified of this? Because I joined your meeting a couple of times a month ago, but so Jacob, we'll talk. How do I stay notified of your meeting? Thank you.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, no, I'll drop the link. I think the date still needs to be changed, but I'll at least drop the link in the chat right now for everybody.
Okay.
So the part of, and that kind of reminds me of one of the things that's new that's coming up. There's actually 2 or 3 things kind of wrapped into what you just said, Joanne. Number one is an app by Global Chamber for our members to be able to direct the kinds of meetings that you want to be part of. Right now, it's kind of overwhelming to some extent because we basically kind of throw it out to you. We throw all of them out to you. If you do tell us that you want to be connected to certain types of meetings, we actually have Elisa who helps direct those to you. But in the future, hopefully the AI will be able to help direct those in a better way and connect into the connection way as well. There's a couple people, by the way, who are in the room that are new to Global Chamber. One is Munir El Boamri, who is our Global Chamber Executive Director for Morocco, and also Dr. Nam Ho, who's our new Executive Director for Vietnam. And so, Nam, thank you. This is 2 of these events back to back, and this one is late for you. The other one was early for you. You've had a long day. Thank you for joining today. And Munir, thank you for joining. I'm glad your internet is working today. Have you had internet problems in Morocco?
Not so much, but yeah, it's good. So you hear me now?
Yep, absolutely. Anything new going on in the market there that we should know about?
Yes, sure. Just want to share with the teams today. So I'm Munir from Morocco. I manage a consulting firm in agribusiness. And I want to share with you an opportunity that I want some support to develop because I had an experience with it and in an African country, which is Sudan, and I want to expand it to more countries, which is study tours. So it's developing study tours for African professionals so they can benefit from experience and transfer knowledge from other countries. So we did that with some agriculture professionals from Sudan. So they came to Morocco and they had 10 days of training and also some visit to some industrial units, some companies. So it was very, very helpful for them. And I want to share this idea with the team and have their feedback, how to develop it for other countries and and how to develop these concepts. Just I want to have their advice.
Okay. I'm not quite following what it is.
It's a study tour. So the concept is study tour is like a travel for professional from their country to another country to have training and also to see the expertise, to see like it's like a knowledge transfer. So I did this experience in agribusiness, in the agriculture sector, and it was very, very successful because a lot of African countries lack technology, lack innovation. But when they come, for example, and see it on the land, it's different. So I'm thinking to develop this, for example, to other countries. Why not, for example, to make study tours for African professionals in the US or in other countries? But what I want is just to have some feedback how to market this idea, because I know Zach I want to connect with him and perhaps discuss how to market these concepts and to
Okay.
find the best clients.
Okay, so let's get you connected to probably to Ruby in Ghana as well, if you're not already. And there's a couple other folks within Africa that probably would be very helpful for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Luke.
And Nam, thank you for your message. Sorry that you need to leave. Thank you for being part of both of our League of Opportunities, part 1 and part 2. And we look forward to hearing from you in the coming weeks and months. Anybody else have anything new? Ivan, I see you're in. Did I see Ivan yet? Where's Ivan? Oh, Ivan had to step away. Okay.
I'm right
Anybody
here,
else
my
have
friend.
anything new? Oh,
I'm
are
right
you?
here, multitasking.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you are. Okay. I thought it looked like you might have dropped out. What's new in Ohio?
Well, thank you, Doug. It's been a while. Great to catch up, everybody. I own Hamilton Demo. We do executive search, professional placement, consult on all things recruiting, doing recruiting projects, and with the specialty in diversity. I will say, Doug, although I'm happy to talk about myself, it's been a while since our friend Harold has been with us. And in addition to the work that I do for companies for their talent acquisition needs, I also do a lot of nonprofit work. And one of the nonprofits I'm happy to be associated with is Eyes Open International, which Harold is the executive director of. And if you haven't heard of Eyes Open International, they bring awareness to human trafficking. And for those of you that are here in the States, if you're anywhere close to Cincinnati on May 2nd, there is an event going on where Harold will be presenting at the Freedom Center, the Underground Railroad here in Cincinnati. And it's going to have some amazing people, the Attorney General of the state of Ohio, the Executive Director of the Department of Defense, who oversees human trafficking for the United States. One of the lead investigators for the FBI and others. So again, mark your calendars, May 2nd. And Harold, I apologize. I hope I didn't steal your thunder, but Doug put me on the spot. Yeah, please, if you have any questions, I'm sure Harold will be happy to answer them.
No, thank you, Dr. Ivan. You're my thunder. And thank you, Doug.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anything you want to add about the May 2nd event?
No, nothing. I just request all delegates, if you can sign up. I think, Doug, if you can share the RSVP link. It is virtual, like people can join from different states or different countries. And if anybody can join in person, nothing like it. Dr. Ivan is a big support. He's on the board of directors. This is very close to my heart, this conference, because it is on prevention, education, protection, and empowerment of victims globally. So thank you very much, Doug, for always supporting our passion, mission, and vision. And thank you, friends, for your support.
We have the Virtual League of Global Nonprofits coming up, I believe, next week. And then the final Friday, we have the League of Extraordinaries. So next week is the Virtual League of Global Nonprofits. And then in 2 weeks, it's the Virtual League of Extraordinaries. Cesar, is there anything else that we should mention before we close the room?
Hey, Doug, I can really talk right now, but I see that Peter raised your hand. Peter Gravier in DC.
Sorry, I missed that. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Doug. And thank you, Cesar. I know that we're ready to wrap up, so I'll try and be very brief. So my name is Peter Gravik. I work out of a firm in Washington, D.C. We work in some specialized areas of trade finance. We also work on some inbound foreign direct investment through the EB5 investor visa program. And I know Zazi and Munir, in both of your regions, we are looking at potentially expanding some of our activities so we can reconnect offline. But also, Munir, I wanted to mention when you were speaking about what you're working on, closest thing that I've seen to that is something that the State Department does called the International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP. This is a program that we've participated in the past, and oftentimes they may organize potential feeding into that program, even through individuals such as yourself that are working within regions such as Africa. So if you're looking at potential partnership or potentially participating in a program like that, I'd be happy to at least start some of those conversations.
Yeah, have you tapped into that one by any chance? Do you know the IVLP? Harold? Oh, did Harold drop?
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Yeah.
Do you know the State Department's International Visitor Leadership Program?
No.
Okay, so that would be a good one, because what they do is they bring these visitors in from other countries on specific topics, and your topic is one that other people around the world should know about. So there's 92 groups within the United States that manage these programs through via the State Department, and so Peter's offered to connect you into the appropriate group. Probably in Cincinnati, there's like a World Affairs Council or Global Ties or some international group that manages the program there.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, because I do work with Department of State as a consultant on their projects on human trafficking. But thank you for this information, for getting me connected, or maybe Dr. Ivan. Thank you.
Very good. Cesar mentioned he can't talk, so we'll just end it here unless I don't see any more hands raised. So thank you all for joining today. We'll do a wrap-up post on LinkedIn. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and hopefully the internet around the world is a lot better by next week. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.